welcome to another installment of HNN Overtime, the Hawaii News Now Sports Podcast. I am your host, Kyle Chinen, joined as always by the one, the only, Davis Pitner. What is up, my man?
That's what I'm talking about.
We are
Kyle.
back. It's just the boys today, but we both had a really fun weekend.
Dude, what
I'd
a
say.
crazy
weekend.
It was a crazy weekend
for the both of us, but we are here to talk about one thing. It's about drive.
It's about power. Dude, let's go. We both said it at the same time. Oh my God. No.
Obviously, we were a bit excited. We had the chance to see. I had the chance.
You had the chance, Kyle.
I had the chance to see.
We were all jealous of you.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He was back in the islands for the XFL Hawaii Showcase, the XFL, the Spring Football League. Trying to get back going in 2023. They are looking for players to fill their rosters. Hawaii was one of their stops for obvious reasons, and DJ, as everyone over there was calling him, was out on the field at McKinley High School.
That was unreal, Kyle.
It was
all
crazy.
of us at the station were jealous. Everyone was asking me, as the other co-host of Overtime, like, hey, did you go out and see The Rock? I'm like, no.
Hey,
I wish
you had a pretty good. You had a pretty good.
Yeah, I did.
You had.
We're gonna keep that a little top secret.
Top secret. You had your own experience.
We might throw a little teaser in at the end, but
your own experience. But yeah, man, it was super fun.
What was that like, Kyle?
It was kind of interesting. I mean,
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
It was a pretty fun experience, dude. Like, honestly, it was pretty top notch because, like, we get there like an hour early. We had the COVID test. Make sure we're all good, and then we got field access, got our credentials, walked onto the field. Literally the first thing we noticed is, oh, there he is, literally on the other end of the field, but like he was surrounded by like, his camera crew, his, he makes those Instagram videos, or like he's probably making a documentary about this stuff, he was being followed by cameras, his people, just watching the guys go. Great showcase, a lot of local talent, a lot of guys that they invited here over to the islands, guys that went to UH, other local boys that played elsewhere in college but are from here locally. Yeah, dude, it was a blast. It was a little hot, obviously, McKinley, not a lot of shade, and a whole lot of sun that Saturday. But it was super, super fun, dude.
Dude, that is so cool. And I was looking at some of your footage afterward too, and it really was crazy to see just the whole entire group surrounding Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I mean, that was insane seeing the amount of people just surrounding him
this guy,
as he walks.
He commands a room, and we weren't even in a room. We were outside. He commands
the entire field.
The whole field, the whole 100 yards. Like, he was the man, and he really wasn't doing anything. I mean, like, he was just standing there, but obviously you can't just stand there and be like, oh, there's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Yeah. Like, there's The Rock right there watching you do D-line drills, right? Like, that to me was probably the coolest thing for the guys participating. And,
I was going to say, like, as one of the athletes, how do you even perform when that person is right there? Like, is there extra pressure? Is it like...
If anything, they were going harder, right? They had to impress the boss, essentially. He's the owner of the XFL now. So, like, impress the bosses that were all there. Dwayne Johnson wasn't at the first two. So they have a series of 6 showcases. Hawaii was number 3. They started out in Washington, D.C., and then the week before, Hawaii was in Jacksonville, Florida, I believe, or Florida. I can't remember what part of Florida, but Florida for sure. And it was only Danny Garcia, who was co-owner. He also part of 7 Bucks Productions, which is The Rock's production company. So they're business partners. They're both owners. So she was the one representing the ownership, right, at those other ones. But, of course, The Rock was going to be here, right? Of course he was going to be at Hawaii, at McKinley High School. Obviously, he went there, played football.
Has a special meaning for him.
It was significant for him to be there, and you could tell we were able to talk to him. Obviously, he's a busy guy, right? So it wasn't a one-on-one interview. Hate to like spoil it for the viewers. I did not sit down with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on a one-on-one. It was a big media scrum. All the other local stations, a lot of media that probably doesn't usually cover sports, but The Rock was there, right? So
yeah, it's like you have to.
You have to be there. Like, it was probably the biggest media scrum I've been a part of, and we were at national championships. We were in college football scrums. Like, dude, it was the biggest scrum I've been in so far, and it was crazy. So couple questions apiece, right? But when you could get in there, you had to. And honestly, first question, I was the voice was a little.
I know. Were you a little nervous?
I was a little nervous. I didn't, because here's the thing: nobody knew how to really address him. Like, reporter-wise, we're just kind of talking story beforehand, because the PR girl that was helping us, she was like, "Oh yeah, so here's the schedule. We'll talk to Danny Garcia. You guys can have her, individually. She's okay with that. And then after that, like 20 minutes later, we'll just do a big scrum for DJ." And I'm like, "Okay, DJ."
Oh, wow.
I don't know if we're on that level. I was about, I'm not sure if he likes The Rock or Dwayne Johnson, Mr. Johnson. Like, I was so nervous to like figure out what to say. I just went after someone asked a question. I go, "Oh," I just didn't even. I didn't even bother, dude. I did not even bother. But talking to him, he was so gracious with his time. Honestly, like, yeah, we only got like a couple questions each, but he answered them very thoroughly. Like, you listened to them,
yeah,
right?
I saw those interviews. He really went into depth into each and every question. He took the time to answer everything. He
really did. And also too, just not even like a part of the like asking about the XFL and all that. It got a little windy at McKinley, and he stops mid-question to go and help people like hold down tents, put them away before they start blowing, because there was one like on the other side of the field that just started tumbling, right? So he grabbed it, and I was like, I turned the camera over, and he's just like helping these guys. He's in the cutoff tank top. He's an absolute unit.
He's looking good while he does it.
He's an absolute unit. I mean, dude, seeing him on TV and seeing him in person is very different.
I think that's a big question too that people ask. What was he like in person? How tall was he? He kind of talk about, because no one sees him. Everyone sees him in the movies. What was he like in person to have that presence right there?
He's just, stands up, chest high, confident. Like I said, he controls the room. But he's about, I'm 5'11", and like I'd say he's about like 6'3", 6'4".
Jeez.
And I mean, just an absolute like zero body fat, just chiseled, dude. Like, it was crazy. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, it's just the movies, movie magic. No, dude.
It's about drive. It's about power, Kyle.
Dude. We stay hungry, we devour. Like, he was. I'm pretty sure like he was at the morning session, because media was only allowed it like there for like about 2 hours, but it was a whole day thing. He was there for the morning session. I want to say he probably left a little bit before the morning session ended to go get a workout in and then come back for the afternoon session.
He had to look good for the cams.
He had to. He just needed to get that work, dude. He just had to get that workout in. He's on business, but that's also his business. But yeah, dude, it was so fun. Just asking him about, what it meant to him to bring this showcase to Hawaii, to somewhere that he has a lot of cultural and personal significance to him. Yeah, man. I mean, if you want to, let's.
I think we should do it.
Yeah. Here's what he had to say about bringing the XFL to Hawaii.
A day like today is not only, I think, a very special day in the world of football, as we're trying to find great talent for the XFL, but also just on a personal level. As you guys know, I did a lot of my growing up here in Hawaii, and a lot of my formative years were here in Hawaii, and on this field where they're preparing right now, you could hear them in the background. This was a field where I got after it. This was a field where me and my teammates, my McKinley teammates, where we put our hands in this dirt. This beautiful turf was not here when I was here, so it was a rough field, but it taught us so much. And so I can tell you, from a personal standpoint, I've been really fortunate and lucky over the course of my career to have done a few things that have been pretty exciting and memorable for me. This, by far, is one of the most memorable days for me, because life comes full circle. So not only am I coming back here to Hawaii, and myself, our chairwoman, Danny Garcia, and our XFL staff is able to bring a showcase here to showcase local talent here in Hawaii, some of the local islands, and the local talent we brought back from the mainland too as well. So to be able to showcase them, and also, again, for me personally, because I did not make it in the NFL, that was my goal. When I started putting my hands in the dirt here with all my teammates, our goal was to make it in the NFL. But that did not happen. So to be able to come back, put the showcase on, help create an opportunity for local boys that I once was and I will always be, just that opportunity to live their dream. There's a few things that have to happen as we stand the league up, but this idea about franchising and franchising out our league is something that's very important to us, and the expansion of the growth of it. We'll take it one step at a time. I think that we have done a pretty good job of taking our time, not rushing the league as we try to stand it up. We've had great, really incredible talks with Roger Goodell, Troy Vincent of the NFL, and the entire league of the NFL, as we have partnered with them on innovation and a few other things too as well, NFL Players Academy, etc. So in time, but I think that would be great. I think to create a franchise, have an XFL team here in Hawaii, I think would be fantastic.
How significant is it for you to bring a showcase here to a place that is so rich and ingrained with football?
I think it's critical. I think to be able to bring a showcase here to Hawaii and again showcase local talent. As we all know, Hawaii is such a rich football state with incredibly talented players who grow up in a culture loving football, loving hard work, but also loving the island of Hawaii and the islands of Polynesian islands. So a lot of times, in my opinion, it's just a matter, I think, of just taking the lens, moving it just a couple of degrees to showcase the talent we actually have here on this rock, on this island. So I'm really excited about this day. And I'll tell you this from experience, we had a great morning. The defense came out here. We saw some great athletes out here. For sure, a lot of athletes caught our eye. We made notes. We're going to call that one back. We're going to call this one back. So I think, and now for this offense is fired up. So I think overall, this is going to be very valuable. And what I also look forward to doing is to continue to do this every year. So I think something like this is important, again, because we have such incredible football players here on the island. It's just a matter of oftentimes getting them seen.
Your interview with The Rock. No, that it was so interesting to hear him talk about, the significance of this
Absolutely.
for him and, what it was like being at McKinley and, he just overall, just the presence that he has here in the community overall.
Just being realistic, he didn't spend a lot of time here, right? But to be able to do this, essentially having not really spent a lot of his life in Hawaii, still, it shows like how much this means to him, right? And he always talks about how he never made it to the NFL. Those dreams never were realized for him. So he said, just being able to give this opportunity to these guys, these local players, is something that he wants because he was never able to get to the league and things like that. So he just wants to create those opportunities, and so gracious with his time, so cool, dude. He always talking about meeting celebrities and all that stuff, but dude, he was so cool. He was
it really
so
seems
awesome.
like it. And talking about the XFL a little bit, it really, even though it seems kind of like the minor league to the NFL, it does give players a second chance.
Oh yeah,
to play professionally.
If anything, minor league, like I know, like they're not even taking that as like a slight. It's almost like a compliment. Like, yeah, this is just an extra step for a player to like develop, to then potentially make it to the NFL. May not have shown it in the clips, but he kind of offhand talks about his conversations with the NFL about, partnership and things like that. So it really is going to start, if this thing takes off, which I believe it will, because, The Rock, nothing The Rock does or touches really fails. It's really about drive and about power. So like
the amount of times that we're saying
like,
in this episode,
put a counter at the top of the screen, would you? So like just the fact that they're having those conversations and just making sure that this opportunity is there for those players. It's really cool to see, and it's a lot of these guys that were fan favorites in college, but again they might just need that one extra step, that one season in a professional league to get their first taste of being a pro athlete to then propel them into the NFL. So I think the sky's the limit for this league. The first iteration of this back in 2020 got shut down because of COVID. So just the fact that it's back and really the opportunities that one created in this short time, I can only imagine what the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson version of the XFL could bring.
And a lot of excitement too. I mean, like he was saying, a possible franchise in Hawaii.
Oh, dude! Like,
think of that. That honestly, would be insane.
That would be so fun.
That would be so cool.
Unfortunately, by the way things have kind of played out, there's no real place to put this franchise. But I think it would be so cool. It would be nice to have something to cover in the springtime.
Something in the future, yeah.
Something in the future would be really, really cool because, just seeing a lot of these, like, local players, some of them I'll mention offhand, whether they're from the University of Hawaii or, played elsewhere but are from here. Just to see those names again that I haven't really heard and seen in a long time. You talk guys like Cole McDonald, who was, the starting quarterback at the University of Hawaii a couple years ago, and he was out of his mind, got drafted by the Titans, bounced around the league.
What
Titans
high expectations for him.
Yeah, he never really found his footing in the NFL. Was with the Titans, got cut. With the Cardinals, got cut. Found his way to Canada to play in the CFL with the Argonauts. Didn't really work out there either. So, just to see these names and these guys again being able to, ball out and potentially play professionally again is something cool. And another big story was Bryant Moniz, who was also University of Hawaii quarterback, Lelehua quarterback back in his prep days, local boy. I think he was saying he was probably the oldest guy there at 33. So he was just being able to sling it. He's had a long career in Canada and elsewhere, other leagues. So he's just bringing that veteran mentality. So he's like, whoever signs me. If it happens, cool. And like he brings that veteranship to teach these young guys about being a pro. And just it was so cool to see other guys, a couple University of Hawaii DBs, offensive linemen, defensive linemen. It was really nice to see like guys just try and chase that opportunity.
Yeah, and I forgot to ask about it earlier in this, but what were some of the just to give an idea for everyone? What were some of the drills that they were? It seemed like a lot like the NFL Combine in a way.
Right. It was a lot of agility, a lot of not really. It doesn't look like football, from the naked eye. It's not like they're catching passes. They did do that towards the end, but, a lot of it was like broad jump, the 40 time, the cone drills, right? Showing off your agility, your speed, change of direction, things like that. It was a combine, it was called it was named a showcase, but it was really like the XFL's version of the combine for them to see who, they're going to call back. So The Rock was also kind of showing us, and Danny Garcia, the other co-owner, kind of broke down the format of like, they'll assess, they filmed literally all the reps of everyone. They're going to assess the tape, look at it, and see who they're going to call back, to potentially sign to the XFL. I don't believe the XFL is having a draft. Like previous iterations, they had a draft at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
So I think they're just going to sign guys and fill rosters is what it sounds like. So, they're just going to take all this tape from these other places and, also look elsewhere from the college game to fill this league and, make rosters come 2023.
It's really exciting. And, like we were saying before, I mean, it really is a chance for these guys who aren't quite there to make it to the NFL. It gives them a chance to still play professionally, maybe at a lower level, but still a chance to get into the NFL one day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's so cool to see. And when I was a big fan of the last iteration of the XFL in 2020, for some reason it was just fun. You know, it was like a bunch of guys that were they just loved ball, right?
Wasn't Chad Owens?
No, he wasn't. It was there was Jordan Ta'amu. He was a Pearl City High School quarterback. He played at Ole Miss. He bounced around the NFL a little bit with stints as a third stringer in Kansas City, and then he signs with the St. Louis Battlehawks. He was a baller. I saw him in person, and when I drove down to St. Louis in college, saw a game. It was super fun. Jordan Ta'amu, now part of the USFL, which is another spring league, which I'm not too sure the details of that, but he was part of the first iteration of the XFL, and it was just a bunch of guys that just loved playing, loved the grind, and let's just be real. Sometimes people in the NFL, they can be divas, right? The money,
kind of gets in
the
their
paycheck
heads,
talks,
right?
and it's like, whatever, dude. But like these guys, scrappy guys that just want to play ball, and it was super, super fun to see and watch, So, yeah, dude, it's just gonna be. I think it's gonna be a success. I'm calling it right now. It's gonna work.
Right now, okay.
It's gonna work.
I like
Plus, too, like the XFL, they announced they have like broadcast partnership with Disney. So
I didn't know that.
So they're going to be broadcasting games on ESPN Plus, and ABC. So that's big
cool.
league. That's a good deal.
Cool. It's cool to see the game of football always growing.
Oh yeah, it's super
always
fun.
Growing.
Oh yeah, and even off the field too, a connection. The Rock, he didn't, it's not like a PR thing, but he has his Zoa energy drink, right?
Yeah.
And special teams coordinator for the University of Hawaii, Thomas Sheffield. Shout out Coach Sheff. Shout out Coach Sheff. Sorry. I can't remember where my camera is, man. But he's been tweeting about drinking Zoa and shouting out the Rock nonstop every day, every morning. That's his OJ. That's his cup of coffee. Really gets him wired. So he's been tweeting at him, and he was able to connect with the XFL to get him access to the tryout or to the showcase and kind of watch practice. Then there was that magical moment, right, where they shook hands and talked. And
I'm sure that must have been unreal for him.
For him, yeah. I think
if I were him, I would be like, "Can you sign my Zoa?"
We talked to both of them. Talked to Coach Sheff, and I asked him, besides meeting your childhood idol, which is what he said. That's who he grew up on. Big wrestling fan, big fan of The Rock. I was like, what is your internal hype meter? Because he was pretty even keel when he was talking to him, and he's like, oh, off the charts. I'm like, oh, I bet. And then, he really, it wasn't about like just trying to get The Rock's attention. Like he wanted, to be able to, maybe get something cool for his team, for the Bows. But there's a little problem with as far as like drink sponsorships with the University of Hawaii. Aren't exactly the same company that Zoa is, so that's an issue. But both him and The Rock were like, maybe potentially some sort of agreement, some sort of thing. But that's all speculation. I will end it at that because we can't really talk more about it.
Can't really talk about it. Yeah.
It's all speculation. But it was it was a cool moment. Just because if you've been following him on Twitter, he's been talking about Zoa and tagging The Rock every single day. And the fact that like they met and took a picture was bananas.
Dream come true.
Literally a dream come true for this guy. And it was so cool to see. I just remember because we were all set up for the scrum and like just had it right in center mass. And then I noticed, oh crap, they're meeting. So I'm whipping the camera around. I'm like, oh no, trying to get the shot of them meeting. It was so cool, dude.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
What a cool experience for them, and still what a cool experience for you just to be out there.
It was super fun, man.
Get to see him in person. I know you didn't get quite the selfie with him. Like,
I know, I didn't get a picture.
I did see your picture though. It was still really cool.
I wanted to be chill. I didn't want to be, too forward. I mean, everybody else is asking for pictures.
I think you should have just started like saying the song. You singing the song. See if he starts singing back, right?
I didn't want to be too forward, so I just took a selfie about 5 yards away. Made sure he was in it. I was in it. Pointed at him. So I think that was good for me. And I took a lot of pictures while we were interviewing, so with the camera in it. So it was fun. It was cool. It was probably a bucket list thing for me. I will say.
I love it.
All right, now speaking of The Rock, we can't go an entire episode without talking about some of his movies and some of our personal favorites. Davis, I will give you the floor. Give me your top 3 Dwayne The Rock Johnson movies, whether he's starring in it or has a significant supporting role.
Okay.
Maybe it's about cars. Who knows? Maybe it's about football. The floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you. Kyle, I'm going to give you the top 3. It's a tough one. The Rock has been in dozens of movies.
A lot
of movies, which has obviously made him super successful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with a lot of the most recent ones.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen them, the Jumanji series.
I have not.
This is gonna be number 1.
Okay.
I'm combining both of them together.
Right,
though.
it's a series, right?
It's a series.
Okay, I get you. That's allowed.
Obviously.
I've not seen the new Jumanjis yet.
Whoa.
Can't
Kyle.
say that I have.
I just what got me the movies. You have the combo, The Rock, Kevin Hart.
That's been a good
Jack
combo.
Black.
That's a good combo lately.
It's so funny. Oh my god.
Okay.
You got to watch it.
All right, I'll watch it. I'm going on a trip in a couple days.
That's right.
So, maybe I'll watch it on the airplane.
There we go.
I need some airplane movies. There you go.
There we go. All right, number 2, we're going with the Game Plan.
There it is.
It's a good football one.
Love it.
Very funny. I don't know why it just got to me. I just love it.
It's a Disney classic.
It's a Disney classic. You can't go wrong with it. And number 3, Central Intelligence.
Oh,
The Rock,
keeping the
Kevin Hart.
I like
again.
it. I forgot about that movie, but I do remember that was a really good one.
Yeah.
That was probably their first time doing a movie together.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, that's too funny.
That pairing is just so good.
It's really good.
You have Rock, who's huge, and then you have Kevin Hart, who is like half his size.
It's not even like sometimes a movie, like when they're doing like press junkets, the two of them together is just so funny.
Yeah.
Because all they do is like dog on each other.
Yeah, they just bicker with each other.
Their social media feuds are the best. It's funny.
It makes my day, like every day.
Oh my god. That's good list.
It's a solid
list.
list.
It's a solid list. I like your list.
Kyle, throwing it back to you.
All right.
What do you got?
I'm gonna go from bottom up. So my last one will be my favorite Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie. So
Okay. All right.
starting out, we're gonna have Pain and Gain, which I don't know if a lot of people remember this movie. It's not a kid's movie by any means. It's kind of like a rated R like action movie. It stars Mark Wahlberg, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and Anthony Mackie, Falcon, Captain America,
Yeah, sure.
from Marvel. So it's basically a bunch of bodybuilders that like commit crimes. So I just thought it's just an action-packed movie, and Mark Wahlberg and Dwayne Johnson and Anthony Mackie too. Like they're all like really funny. Like they're just over the top, and it's like action-filled, and they're bodybuilders, right? So like this is probably Dwayne Johnson at his absolute biggest. So was Mark Wahlberg and Anthony Mackie. Like, they all got jacked for this movie. But I just like it's a fun like action thriller movie for me. Number 2, same as you, Game Plan. Growing up, watching the Disney Channel as a young football player, like, oh wow, it's a football movie on Disney Channel. Well, I mean, it really wasn't really about football, but it was a fun movie. I loved it. What's her name? Madison Pettis was his daughter.
Yep. That's
right. I know her from Core in the House. That's another show that I used to watch on Disney Channel. Big Disney Channel kid.
Wow.
But my number 1 movie, I think, is just a solid one. I don't know if a lot of people even remember this movie, but Gridiron Gang.
I can't remember it.
Is when he's like the juvie like counselor, and he's like he decides to start a football team with the inmates, like the juvenile kids.
Wait, I think I do remember that.
And then
now
like
that you're explaining it.
It was like just a heartfelt, good old-fashioned football movie. A lot of emotion, a lot of football. It was great. That's also probably in my top 5 football movies of all time.
Wow.
So that's
Okay.
kind of become my number 1 Rock movie because he's really good in it. But that's my top 3, man.
I like it. Another solid list.
Solid list. A lot of football, mine. 2 football movies, but that's just The Rock, dude. It's about drive. It's about
it's
power.
a power.
Yeah, that's
love.
like what, number 7 or 6? We've said it already. So
Yeah, it's something like that. We'll keep the counter up there.
Keep it up.
And just to finish it off, I'm gonna go through the top 4, 3. We'll do top 4. Listed by IMDb.
Do you know what
right?
that stands for? I learned this in college. My professor
What does it stand
ingrained
for,
in
Kyle?
my brain. It stands for the Internet Movie Database.
Wow.
IMDb. InternetMovieDatabase.com.
It's pretty good. Look at that. Kyle's so proud of himself.
Big
All right,
brain.
we're gonna go through the first 4. Number 1, Furious 7.
Just solid.
Obviously, The Rock
Solid.
known for is
Yeah.
the Fast and Furious series.
You mean how he saved the franchise?
Yeah, how he saved it, I guess. On this list, all the Fast and Furiouses are pretty much listed.
Pretty much. Okay.
All of them are. Number 2, though, which was on my list, Jumanji.
Okay.
Welcome to the Jungle.
Okay.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Can't say it enough. Kevin Hart, The Rock, amazing duo.
Just a solid, that whole cast though, because like I like everybody that was in. Like I know who's in it, like Kevin Hart,
Yep.
Dwayne Johnson, Jack Black, Joe Jonas was in it, right?
That's right.
And she's from Guardians of the Galaxy. The
Yeah, I
redhead
know.
girl. Yeah, I can't remember her
I can't
name.
remember.
But-
This is embarrassing. It's all right.
But it's not like she's gonna. I mean, if you're watching this, we're sorry. But
Can we have you as a guest?
yeah, come on, overtime. But yeah, no, I love all those guys. They're super funny. So I just kind of, I'll take your word for it. I'll try it out.
Yeah.
I have to watch it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then, of course, number 3, Fast and Furious 6. Number 4, The Rundown.
It's a rundown.
I don't know what The Rundown is.
I don't know what the rundown is
We're
either.
gonna have to look into that later. Maybe another movie for you to
Maybe we should start
watch.
a movie podcast.
Should we start a movie podcast?
HNN theater movie time.
Movie time?
HNN movie
That's
time.
what I'm talking about. Anyways, that's our list of Rock movies.
Yeah.
You guys heard it from us. I mean,
Those are our picks. We're gonna
those are the
stick to
ones.
it. I feel like our lists weren't as controversial as some of our other picks before,
Sure.
but it kind of makes me want to go rewatch some of these movies.
I know.
I might
I think
go.
we should go do that.
I think I might go watch Gridiron Gang if it's still on Netflix. I mean, if I still have a Netflix account, I don't know. I
we
know
go.
I do. I still have it because I'm waiting for Stranger Things to come back on.
Oh my
I'm obsessed,
God.
dude.
All right. On that note, it was so cool having The Rock in town.
It was so
Still
cool.
Super jealous of you.
Dude, why would you be jealous though? Let's just we're gonna keep it a little under wraps.
Yeah.
But you, my friend, were able to see a goat in his own right.
That's true.
You want to let the people know who might we be hearing from next episode?
Let's just give him a little hint, Kyle.
Mhm.
Played for the 49ers,
Right?
and like you said, he's just a goat.
He's his
You
goat.
know, we're just
three
gonna-
three Super Bowls, perhaps.
Three Super Bowls, one against the Chargers.
Perhaps. Might be.
Might or not. We're gonna leave it up to you guys. Who knows? It's gonna
We'll
be
see.
coming soon. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, but for now, this episode is all pow. Thank you for talking story with me, man. Just a couple
Another one.
boys just chatting
Right.
it up. And that is going to do it for us here at HNN Overtime. Thank you so much for listening and watching. If you're watching on YouTube, to get access to this, you can head over to our website or Spotify to listen, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get them, or on YouTube for the video version. Thank you so much,
Thanks, guys.
and we will see you later.
Shoots.